What's in my 35-litre backpack for a 5-day couples hike on the Sunshine Coast Hinterland Great Walk? All of the gear has been purchased by myself. You know, I'm not sponsored, nor am I influenced by any particular brand. These are simply my own chosen hiking and backpacking gear brands. This multi-day hike was the first for me, and since then I have swapped out a few items. You'll see the Sea to Summit mummy-shaped sleeping pad in this gear video. I'm now using the larger rectangular shaped sleeping pad in the same brand. I've also swapped out my pack liner for an ultralight version. On multi-day hikes, or indeed long distance backpacking trips, I no longer take my compression garments, as I found I develop a heat rash from wearing them too long. Hi, I'm Jenny and I'm dedicated to adventure.
About to set off on a 5-day multi-day hike called the Sunshine Coast Hinterland Great Walk, which is actually a 4-day walk, but we're doing it over 5 days. We're in our 50, so we're taking a little bit longer. The reason that we're doing this hike is to test out our gear for a 6-week trip that we're doing for all of November and the first 2 weeks in December down into Kowalski National Park and Alpine National Park. So we've picked the coldest time of the year in Queensland during winter, and luckily for us we are going to be having a cold snap, so some of our stuff is purposed for that. But if we just have a look at the weight of what's in my pack, so both my neurosurgeon and my knee surgeon gave me clearance to carry 10 kilos. So all along I've set a goal of between 10 and 11 kilos, and I've been pack training and weight vest training with 10 kilos every day, all the days that I've been training, and that has worked a treat. So I'm very confident with this weight. The only thing that's not on this list at the moment are some snacks. I have 4 bananas and 8 eggs to add to that, so that will still work out nicely. Okay, let's get into this gear. So first of all, if we have a look at our shelter system, I'm starting off with a ground sheet under the tent that I purchased from Orange Brown, and it's in the size 1.3 by 2.35 centimeters to go underneath my tent. Now the tent took quite a lot of time to work out. If I was just multi-day hiking for myself, I'd go with a much smaller tent, but in this case I needed to go bigger for my mountain man. He's quite a big guy and he doesn't like confined spaces, so we ended up going with the MSR Hubba Hubba 3-person tent. It has 2 side entry doors, which I absolutely love, and it'll allow a bit of space in the middle between us, which isn't a bad thing when you're on a multi-day hike, particularly first one, because that can be kind of stressful. I set up my tent actually yesterday to check out what I needed with the guy ropes and how many pegs I needed if it got really windy, and so I've ended up with 12 pegs altogether, MSR. There's some lighter weight mini groundhog ones and then the bigger ones as well, so that's going to keep us nice and secure in any weather. Also in the tent I have also attached a 1.2 metre length of 1 kilo rated fishing line and 12 plastic paper clips where I can hang small items if as far as socks and things, if it is raining outside and I can't hang things outside. Okay, let's go to our sleep system, and this is where it's more suited to alpine. It's also suited to comfort. You know, being in our mid-50s, this is kind of a big thing for us going multi-day hiking, and going into alpine climates. I decided to go with the Thermarest Neo Air X Therm sleeping mat, which is the highest rated, I believe, in Australia, with an R rating of 6.9. So that should be wonderful in the alpine conditions. I've hiked extensively through both Alpine National Park and Kosciuszko National Park during that time of the year. I know the wild variations in weather, so we'll see how we go. I'm also using a silk liner from Cedar Summit, and in the end I decided to go with the Eros pillow large. It's a bit of a luxury item, but that's okay at our age. If you can't do that, then there's definitely a problem. Now let's have a look at this gorgeous sleeping bag. Now I need to start off by saying that this is the bag that I'm carrying because it's lighter. However, it's actually the bag that my mountain man will be using because he's not a cold sleeper like I am, and it is the Cedar Summit Ember Mark III. It has a down of 850 with a loft of 850. So it goes down to around -4. And I think that will be good for him in winter. I also have one of the thermal pack liners to up the temperature should he need that. The sleeping bag that I'm actually going to be using, that my mountain man will be carrying, was custom designed by our son, and it's equivalent to about a 1,000 loft in down. It's a mummy style, and it weighs about 1.1. So this one's about 800 grams. So that's why I'm carrying this one. Okay, let's go over to the pack system. I have an Arc'teryx Alpha AR 35 litre pack. There we go. I actually tested out all of the gear that my mountain man will be carrying, which is around 14 kilos, to see what size pack he needed, and all of his stuff did fit into this pack. However, I've chosen him an Osprey pack that's a little bit bigger, but this is my pack. Now there are some things attached to it currently because we are all set up to go, and the only reason why I'm not packed at the moment is I don't want to compress the down in the sleeping bag before I absolutely have to. So to help with my spinal fusing and comfort and the age and all of that stuff, I went to Super Cheap and I bought some sheepskin seatbelt covers and or seatbelt strap covers, and I've cut them up to cover my shoulder areas and also hip areas. And then I also have a little ditty bag attached. This is from the Australian company Orange Brown, and inside there will be my snacks for each day, my reading glasses. It also has my sun cream, that sort of gear, a couple of little medications just in case. And then on here I also have my P-rag and also 3 little carabiners, a little bit hard to see, which I'll attach different things to. So that's my pack. And then I also have, let's move this out of the way, I also now have a pack liner. This one is from MacPack. It's in the 50 litre size. Now I personally don't choose to go with a pack cover, a rain cover, because what I've found in the past is that when it really rains heavily, that the rain seeps in through these straps anyway, and part of your pack at the very least gets wet. So I prefer to go with a pack liner, and that's what I've found works for me. Now let's go down to hydration system. I have a 1.5 litre bottle of water. I also have a Candelion Be-Free water filtration system. Now my husband's carrying some of this gear as well. He also has a 2 litre knock bag to help out. And as I said, because this is a shared hike, my husband's actually carrying quite a bit of stuff. And if I just actually go to shared items carried by my mountain man, there's quite a bit in there. So he's carrying all the power banks, a lot of the technology stuff. He wanted a chair, so I bought him a chair. Whoops. This isn't working very well. He's carrying all of the main food. I'm carrying the snacks. He's carrying all cooking gear. So that's kind of the way we broke things up. Okay, next category is clothing. I have my North Face rain jacket, which I've recently re-waterproofed using a couple of products, Tech Wash, and I can't remember the other one, but I was watching a YouTube clip by Mowser, Mowser, the other day, and went with the products that he likes to use, so I'm looking forward to testing those out. Now, I'm a big fan of using compression garments both during the hike and then afterwards. I've found that that really helps with my spinal stuff, but also muscle soreness overall. So I have a long sleeve compression top, a matching long sleeve compression legs. I have merino wool boxer trunks, and then let's have a look over here. From Mountain Designs, I have a full length thermal top, and I have a matching set of full-length thermal bottoms. They're in the wash at the moment, so I have those instead. And then my socks are from a Tasmanian company. They're mongrel, they're merino wool, nice and thick, winter alpine rated socks. And then for the fleece, I ended up going with a Helly Hansen. It's a polar arctic fleece, so it's really warm and still quite lightweight. That's really great. Then part of my pain management strategy is to spend some of each time doing cold water therapy exercises in the icy waters under waterfalls. So I've got some water shoes there. And then if we get down to technology, then my mountain man's carrying most of the technology stuff for both of us, but I have a headlamp there that weighs 86 grams. And then my iPhone I'm filming on, but here's another one. And then first aid, what I've done here is in one bag I've put all of our first aid, all of the things we need for repair or may need for repair items, and personal care items. So repair items are things like tenacious tape for micro puffs and the sleeping bag. There's also what else have we got in there? We also have, trying to think of the name of the tape. Anyway, we have a range of tapes for different things that could go wrong, both to do with our tent repair, the patch kits for the Thermarest Sea Summit sleeping mats, and then of course tapes for like Luca tape for blister care, all of our medications, normal first aid stuff, betadine, won't go through all of that, snake bandages, you name it. And then we also choose to use a bath bag. Now the idea is that is when you pull into camp, you warm up some water, pour it into a snap lock bag, add a couple of drops of the tea tree oil in, and I use the chucks as my cleaning cloth for my body, and then I have a yellow super soaker also to dry off with. And then our one item that I would call a luxury is this book. My husband and I have a tradition when we go on special adventures that we've read a particular book to each other about the area or something that we're doing, and in this case it's from Outback Mike, who was on the Alone series recently in Australia on SBS, and it's his new book, Modern Day Castaway. I've watched all his YouTube videos, so is my mountain man, so we're really looking forward to doing that and reading that at night in the tent before we go to sleep. My husband likes to listen to a lot of podcasts, so do I, so we'll be doing that as well, so we have extra power for that sort of thing. And then the last little bag is another bag from Orange Brown, and it has all of our snacks for the entire hike in it. The only thing that's not in the bag are the 4 bananas and 8 eggs. So anyway, there you have it, woohoo! All of the gear that I will be carrying in my pack for our multi-day hike. And coming up, I hope to do a video of how I actually pack things in my pack, because once again it's a little bit different to how people like to do it. Other people like to do it.
As requested, here is the full gear list for both my backpack and my Mountain Man's backpack. And in upcoming videos, you will see me do another gear video, which shows everything I took on the 6-week solo alpine hiking trip. But all of the gear on this video was perfect for our couple's Sunshine Coast Hinterland Great Walk. Right at the end of this section of the video, in my Mountain Man's gear list, you'll see the complete breakdown of all of the food and its weight as well. And I hope that's helpful. And if you've hung in all the way to the end here, I just want to express a very heartfelt thank you for staying with me, and to let me know if there's any particular topic you'd like me to cover next. Bye for now.